Welcome everyone to another installment of Sundays with Sanitary103, yours truly healthy dinner ideas. And in today's video, we're going to be making something called chicken fricassee. It is a Cuban-based chicken type of stew, and it's going to be served with some black beans and some brown rice. Before I get into all the details, just get a quick visual. I have some chicken obviously here. You could use skin on if you want with the bone, but they didn't have it. Chicken breast is fine. There's 4 chicken breasts here. I'm going to be having it tonight for dinner and for some leftovers for meal prep. Without having the skin on, you actually save some calories, a little bit healthier. And then I'm going to get into details in a second, but over here I have all my dry ingredients. Got some garlic and the wet ingredients because we need to make the marinade. And one common theme with these healthy dinner ideas is that if you notice, I use a lot of just different spices and whatnot because I try to avoid the heavy butters, heavy creams. That's where a lot of extra calories can come into play. By using a lot of spices, you can still make very delicious and healthy meals. And also, real quick, before we get started, I have tons of spices right here, and if you follow my channel, it seems like a lot, but over time, these can be used for a very long time, $3-4 a pop. And I use a lot of these different ingredients in different recipes. So once you buy these ingredients, the paprika, the cayenne pepper, all that good stuff, it'll last a long time and you can interchange with different recipes. So that's just a little piece of advice. So let's go ahead and get started with the marinade.
So to make the marinade, we'll be focusing on the dry ingredients first with 1 teaspoon of paprika, followed by a teaspoon of cumin. Next, add 1 teaspoon of oregano, roughly 1 teaspoon of salt, as well as 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Now mix all the dry ingredients with your hands and pour the dry rub on your chicken. Really get in there to distribute the rub equally. That looks pretty good right there. In a separate bowl, pour in a ½ cup of freshly squeezed OJ, or if you're lazy, just buy some at your local grocery store. I also added in a ½ cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice and a ½ cup of freshly squeezed lime juice. In addition, about 1 tablespoon of olive oil into your bowl, as well as 6 cloves of garlic minced. And to top things off, 1 bay leaf. Now mix everything around with a spoon and pour the contents over your chicken. I like to use my hands to help lock in the flavor for the chicken. Put some saran wrap over the bowl and marinate it in the fridge for at least 1 hour or even overnight if you have time.
Alrighty guys and gals, welcome back. It's been about 6.5 hours. Like I said, the marinade, a minimum of 1 hour. I did this earlier in the day and it's almost dinner time. So I got that going right here. All the flavors are locked in. And now we're gonna head on over to the stove to cook the chicken and I'll go over the next steps. Here we go.
On medium-high heat, drizzle some olive oil into a Dutch oven or a big pot and put the chicken in. Note that you just want to brown the chicken and not cook it completely for now. After a few minutes, it should resemble something of this nature. And before I forget, be sure not to throw away the remaining marinade because we'll be using it later. Now place the chicken onto a separate plate. In the same pot, add some olive oil and throw in 1 yellow onion diced up and 1 bell pepper diced up. Cook it down just enough to get the ingredients tender, which will take about a few minutes. Now put in 6 cloves of minced garlic, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, a ½ teaspoon of oregano, and a ½ teaspoon of cumin. And now just mix it all up. The next step is to pour in ½ cup of tomato sauce and 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. With the remaining marinade we had earlier, now pour that into the pot and mix it around for a minute or so. The next step is to add a ½ cup of green olives, a 1/4 cup of capers, 2 tablespoons of chopped up parsley. Now add the chicken back in, and for some complex carbs, I have about 10 small potatoes cut up. I also have 1 cup of chicken stock. I also added a little more salt and pepper and 1 more bay leaf. Now cover the pot and place it on a simmer for 25 to 30 minutes or until fully cooked. Now it's time to plate. One thing to note is that if you want a thicker consistency, allow it to cook longer than 30 minutes. I also heated up some black beans on the side, and I also made some brown rice, which is optional.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, chicken fricassee. That looks absolutely delicious. I got the potatoes, the olives, all the different flavors in there. Got some brown rice right here and some black beans. And I'm gonna take a little bite on camera. Just gonna try to get the perfect bite. A little bit of sauce. Get an olive, some brown rice. Some kind of hard. Let me just do that right there. Fell. So this just goes to show you that, like I said, you don't have to add all this extra fat and heavy creams and butters. You can still make a good healthy meal and not sacrifice taste based on this. So thank you for watching this video. If you want to check out my other healthy dinner ideas, I'll put the playlist in the description box. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.